Women love this one character trait in men. If you're a man with a busy career or your own business, you've probably learned how to behave in a professional context. You probably learned what it means to be calibrated, socially calibrated, to respect norms and traditions, and to rather quickly decipher how people interact one another in a new environment to behave in an appropriate manner. More or less, at least. Now, that degree of calibration is an absolute requirement to function well in society. But the problem with it can be that it puts you in your head, that you start overthinking how you come across, in particular with women. You start assessing your body language. How are my hands? How's my eye contact? Am I coming across as nervous? Is every single word that I say perfectly on point? Could I say this? Is she gonna approve of that joke? And in essence, you come across as stifled. And if there's one thing that women love, it's the ability to express yourself in a carefree manner. To not give a fuck whether the person or the people around you approve of your behavior or not. Obviously, it doesn't take too much cerebral computing power to decipher how that could have negative consequences for your career, your job, or in any other area if it's taken to an extreme. Let's take it to an extreme. Let's say, I'm just going to act out all of the emotions, all of the thoughts. I really absolutely do not care anymore at all. Well, you won't be able to be a functioning member of society. But you are probably too calibrated. If we look at a spectrum, a scale of so calibrated you have a stick up your ass to you take a shit on the floor whenever you feel like it, you're probably a little bit more over on that spectrum here. So this is not about going into an extreme. Extremes are rarely useful in life. But if you want to improve your interactions with women, you have to move into this direction. I'm going to give you a couple of practical examples of how that can manifest in your interactions with women. For example, when I'm with Fernanda, she frequently, still to this day, tells me, David, you're so carefree. You just don't care. And it could be silly things like singing and a couple of things I don't even want to talk about because they're so silly. But I basically express myself always in a respectful and kind and calibrated way. But carefree, you can walk around the city center during the day and you sing, not obnoxiously loud so that people actually assess you as socially inadequate, but to an extent where it's playful, entertaining. You might dance a little bit. You just allow yourself the freedom to express yourself in a playful manner, childlike, in a good way. Now, most people, most men, and you probably fall in the same category, stopped giving themselves permission to do that between the age of 10, 11, 12, 13, 20. At some point in your life, you stopped giving yourself permission to do that unless you're drunk. Alcohol or other drugs give people the socially accepted excuse to be carefree. And does alcohol alter your behavior? Absolutely. Does alcohol reduce the fear of consequences? Yes, because alcohol doesn't make you oblivious to the consequences of your actions. It simply reduces anxiety. And that's why some people drink as well, because it reduces stress. And it gives you confidence, right? Reduced anxiety is more confidence in the moment. So that's obviously true, but at the same time, have you ever noticed that when you're with certain types of men, they really hug you and they tell you that they love you when you're drunk, or when they're drunk rather, and then the next day they're a little bit more distant and they can't allow themselves to express that affection even if it's a really good friendship? Well, it was just alcohol. It's just alcohol. Well, was it really, or was it you seeking connection? And a lot of men only allow themselves to feel that connection to themselves, other men or other people, not in not necessarily in a homosexual way, not that there's anything wrong with that, but not necessarily in that way, but just in a brotherly love, good male friend type of way. They only allow themselves to feel that connection or that degree of freedom of expression when they're drunk, because then the next day they can blame it on the neurotoxin. They can blame it on the substance. Oh, it wasn't me. No, it was you, largely. Obviously, your behavior was altered. That's why you should either stop drinking alcohol or at least reduce it heavily and make it a special occasion. Make it a once a month kind of thing. Make it a rare thing. If you drink more than once a month, you're not meeting your needs in a sufficient manner. Alcohol is just a strategy to meet your need, either for certainty, or variety, or a connection. Maybe you want to feel special, maybe whatever, right? You're meeting certain psychological needs with it. That's really all it is. And so, if you can find more intelligent ways to meet those needs, you won't need that many more, because alcohol robs you of so much life energy, you can't even begin to fathom it unless you've gone a while without it. And then you realize that most people are operating at 50% of their capacity, at 50% of their intellectual capacity, emotional capacity to experience life, because they need that, or rather because they're ingesting it. And because they feel the need to ingest it because they don't know how to meet their need for connection and how to express themselves. So what I would encourage you is, when you're drunk, or that feeling of being fully loose, being in flow, you can have that 10 times better if you just develop the skill set. Being able to create attraction with women is just a learnable skill set. It's just about confidence, communication, and an understanding of the dynamics. That's really all it is. And it starts with one of the most fundamental ideas, which is, I'll allow myself to be playful. Because remember, women do not come to you for a logical exchange of information. It's not just a logical exchange of anything, really. It's emotion first and foremost. And if you can become the source of good emotions, yes, certainty, strength, masculinity, that's one of them, but also playful and silly, that's very important. And also remember, you spent a vast proportion of your life in a rather serious fashion. You've worked a lot, maybe whether you're retired or whether you're still working right now. You are still spending a considerable amount of time of your week in a serious and industrious manner. And that's amazing. But wouldn't it be nicer to just be able to crack jokes? And remember, I'm German. That was a very foreign concept to me. Being able to make jokes and not take everything super serious. Not every single sentence that comes out of a person's mouth has to be serious. You can say stuff that's not politically correct at all. You can say really funny things, really triggering things, as long as they are well-intentioned. One, you never have the intention to really harm anybody and to make fun of them in a mean way. That's not what I mean. It's more to really say crazy stuff that most people wouldn't be allowed to say or wouldn't give themselves permission to say, so you can crack up. Again, some of the funniest examples I can't even talk about here because they're not politically correct enough, but you get the idea. If you can allow yourself to embody that inner child again, your life will be so much better. Your life will be so much more enjoyable. Women will feel drawn to you. Other men will feel drawn to you because you're that source of good emotions. But it starts with a decision. Now, you got to make that decision not just once, but over and over again to remember, I'll allow myself to be fun and playful. And that manifests in different ways. Some of the coaches in my program, they behave very differently to me, and they have different communication styles, and that's all fine. It doesn't have to be this over-the-top, crazy energy, and that's all right. Even I'm not like that all the time. Sometimes I'm a little bit more mellow, but sometimes just raw, passionate rant. If you've watched 5 or 10 of these YouTube videos, you get different levels. You know, it's all high energy, but sometimes it's a bit calmer, sometimes it's a bit more over the top, and you'll develop your own way. But allow yourself to express yourself more freely. Become carefree. Say the thing you didn't dare to say, not to get a good reaction, but to make yourself laugh. And if you genuinely and wholeheartedly laugh, she'll get very attracted to you. Now, obviously, for some people, and that's why individual advice, coaching is really necessary for a lot of people, because for some people it's the opposite. Most clients of mine, I would say 95%, that applies to them. But there's 5% of my clients, I would say, who have the opposite problem. They need to become more calibrated. They sometimes do weird things that are not disrespectful, just like awkward. And that's also not cool. So you do want to stay relatable. And the devil really, really is in the detail. I've been in an obnoxious amount of social interactions over the years because it's my job and I love it. I love people. I love connecting. It's so much fun. I've helped clients from 30 different countries, so I'm very well able to decipher the patterns and to very, very quickly diagnose a client's issue. And if you want help with that personally, just apply for a free initial consultation call with the link underneath this video. I do want you to take this idea away from it because it transfers not just into your dating life, but into other areas as well. Your business, your family life. It's such a powerful concept because you'll be able to take serious conversations and make them more fun and lighthearted. Now, granted, some serious conversations, they really need to be handled at a serious level. For sure, absolutely. It's not always the right time to crack a joke or to be fun and silly. But more often than not, it is. More often than you think, it's actually fine to lighten up the mood a little bit and then get back to the subject matter. There's really no harm in investing 22 seconds into a joke to boost the emotions, make everybody laugh, connect a little bit, take the seriousness and stress out of the situation, free up mental capital, and then get back to the serious business of the day. It's a very powerful skill set to have. Now, it does have to be calibrated at the wrong timing and you can shoot yourself in the foot. But allowing yourself to just say the things that come to your mind, to be carefree and really silly at times, to the degree to which it's still authentic, will build attraction beyond what you can imagine. Obviously, this goes way deeper than this, but this was hopefully a very, very powerful idea that I was able to share with you here today. Click the link underneath this video, apply for a free initial consultation call right now, and my team and I were going to reach out. Looking forward to speaking with you. Take care.